Hi, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining today. We're going to be having a lot of fun, and I am going to be seed starting a whole bunch of my fall crops. So I'm really excited. I got a huge order in. I have all of my fall season crops and all of my flowers too. I got some flowers and some broccolis and kohlrabi and lots of my favorite things. So I am super excited for fall. Fall is probably one of my favorite times to garden, seriously, because after the heat of the summer and things just not going well over the summer, weeds taking over, and oh man, yeah, I could go on and on. But fall is always just like, it's so much better whenever I get started gardening in the fall. So hopefully you all feel the same way and are as excited as I am to get started with your fall garden. It definitely doesn't feel like fall outside right now. It is 93 right now, high of 96 today I am in zone 7 in Oklahoma City, and it is quite hot. But I do have breaks coming up soon, hopefully. But welcome, everybody. I see we have a lot of you in the chat already. Hi, Julie. She's in zone 7 too, also in Massachusetts, though. Yeah, we have somebody from everywhere, I feel like, all the time. Hi, Charlotte. Welcome from Florida. Oh man, I bet it's pretty warm out there too. Yeah. Ooh, high of 103. Okay, at least my 96, it doesn't go into the triple digits, so I'm happy about that, and I'm sad for you. But welcome. I'm so glad that you all are joining. And yeah, that's funny. After the heat of the summer, I know. I am super hopeful that the end is coming soon for us, but I know it's gonna be really hot, I'm sure, for at least a few more weeks. But that is why I'm getting started inside though, and not doing a lot of these outside, because they just wouldn't do well right now in the heat that we have going on. But welcome, like I said, my name's Carrie. For those of you who are new joining us, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. This is just a super fun time. We always get together every Tuesday, same time, same place, and hang out and talk something gardening, do something gardening, answer any questions that you all might have, and all of that. But yeah, my name's Carrie. My husband Dale and I created the Seed to Spoon app. We started gardening with neither one of us having any experience at all, really, with gardening. Like, the extent of my gardening was going to the store and getting a couple flower transplants and popping those into the ground before we had met. And then whenever we started gardening together, we took here, I'll pull up pictures, our traditional Oklahoma Bermuda grass covered lawn right here. We had just a couple, you can kind of see them in that back corner over there. We had, actually, here's a better picture right here. We had just like 2 little tiny 4x4 wooden raised beds that we started with. And we're like, we can do this. And we started off doing that and learning a little bit. And we had so much fun along the way. And in a couple years, we ended up turning our entire backyard into gardens. I guess you can see we got obsessed and started growing everything and everywhere and using every space that we had. And there was a lot to learn along the way, and we really wished that there was an app while we were doing all this. And Dale, like, he was searching the app store. He's like, there's got to be an app for this to make it easier for us. And nope, we couldn't find one. So he was like, well, I know what we need to do. We need to make one. So here we are today. It's exciting. I love it. But yeah, we do these every week, just kind of hanging out with you guys. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're all are here. And I also do want to say too, if you haven't already read right here, the scrolling going along. Every time that you guys go through and comment in the comment section, it enters you in to win. And I'm going to do a drawing at the very end for one of you guys to win a free 1-year premium Seed to Spoon app subscription. So, woohoo! It's exciting. Oh, great. So it looks like Danny is ahead of me. I know. I do feel like I am behind, especially on some of my things like this, like the broccoli and cauliflower. I am a little behind on mine. So hopefully, I am very glad that you are ahead of me. Yay, Jill, that's exciting. Yeah, that's exactly how I was. I put my order in, I think it was like Thursday or Friday, and I got my order in over the weekend. I was like, yes, I was so excited. I like this. Yep. That's exactly how it went down. That's it. And then I feel like anytime I'm like, oh, I wish the app could do this, or something like that while I'm out there. He's like, okay, hold on. then they work behind the scenes to try to make it even better for me. So it's exciting because I use it all the time, and I try to make it as good as possible for me because I want it to be great when I'm out in the garden. And yeah, it's been great. Okay. But like I said, feel free, comment away. If you guys have any questions at all, pop them in the chat. This is going to be a super informal live stream today. Like I said, I'm just going through and I'm planting a lot of seeds over here in my Park Seed Biodome. I got it all ready before the live stream, but this was super easy to do. Like all I did, this is one I've used for years here. So I just rinsed out, I cleaned it off and washed it off, put some new sponges in here, and it got them damp. So these are all damp. And then once I get it planted out, I'll go through and I'm going to put this lid on and then pop it over here under my grow lights that I have right here. And then I love these because they're super heavy duty and they last, like I said, for years. Like this is one I've had for years. I just grabbed it out of the garage. I get new sponges and stuff, but yeah, I mean, this is one that I use all the time. Super heavy duty. I have funny videos actually of these out in the garden, and like my dogs and cats, chickens, like all of that, just like walking all over it, and it's just doing fine. Whereas like other seed starting trays will like crunch and break. This one does not do that. So definitely recommend it. Plus with the dome, like I feel like it's just very foolproof. So if you ever have anything that's difficult to germinate or anything like that, try the Biodome because things just work in there and I don't have to be worried about keeping things moist. Like I really do. Like after this, I'm just going to put the lid on. I'm going to set it over there and I'm probably going to forget about it for a couple days. And then I'll come back and peek in on it and be like, oh, they sprouted. Okay, I'll take the lid, like very, very little work that has to go into this. So definitely. Yes, that's very true, Jill. Very, very true. They do go on sale often, so definitely check in. And I usually, whenever these go on sale, I try to let you all know because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of them. So I always try to let you guys know. And at the minimum, I put all of their sales that into the app as well too on that main screen right there. So that way you all can see anything like that. Oh, nice. Harry Warp says he's had his Biodome since 2016 or so. That's even longer than me. I didn't even know what the Biodome was in 2016. So that's exciting. Yeah, back in 2016 when we were starting seeds, I was putting like 3 seeds in each hole. Like I just had like cheapo seed starting systems and I was putting like 3 seeds in each hole, just fingers crossed that at least one of them would come up, which I mean, usually at least one came up, but I was like wasting a lot of seeds, I feel like too. But once I switched to the Biodome, I was like, oh, I actually only need to put in 1 seed, and amazing. I see Dee was asking a quick question real quick. Tips for germinating pepper seeds. So the biggest thing that I will say, I usually start these actually in the Biodome too. And whenever I go through and start these pepper seeds, and I get the lid on them, and then I have a heating mat in my garage that I use whenever I'm starting my pepper seeds. And I typically keep that on them just while they're germinating, just because if I don't have a heating mat, or it's just going to take a long time to germinate. So having some sort of source of heat. I know people who've like set them on, like, if these lights were giving off heat, I mean, these are like LED grow lights, so they aren't giving off much heat. But if you had like lights like this that were giving off heat, definitely like try setting them on top of that. Or I've heard people setting them on top of TVs or something like that. Now, don't spill water if you do that. But I mean, it definitely gives off heat. But definitely the heat is a big thing for germinating pepper seeds. Not to say that they won't germinate, but it will just take them forever, I feel like, if you don't. Julia was saying, how often do you water them? So honestly, in the very beginning, at least, I put like an inch or so of water in there. I put the lid on just while germinating. And like I said, I forget about them for at least a few days to a week. You can let them go in the very beginning, at least. And then, I mean, once they get bigger, they're going to need and require a lot more water. But typically, I'm checking on them daily, like once they sprout, just to see. And sometimes like I'll go through, if I'm having like issues with fungus gnats or anything like that, like I'll put water in there, let it soak up for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll dump out the excess water, and I'll do that daily. But if I'm not having any issues with fungus gnats or anything like that, I'll just leave the water in there. The lazy way to do it, right? I do. Okay. So Carol says she's had trouble with tiny seeds coming up. So with these, if they here, this one will be easier to see right here. So I don't know if you can see this, but there is a pre-drilled hole that's right here. Typically it works just fine for like any seed, but if it is like an extremely small seed, you could just set it right here directly on the top of the Biodome sponge. And that's something that I've done before in the past, especially if it's one that needs light to germinate and it's a smaller one. Try doing that to see if that would help you too. Hi, Paige. Yes. When do I need to plant pansies indoors? Well, I will give you a hint. I'm doing that today. Woo! It's exciting. But in the app here, let me pull it up real quick. You can go in here. Pansy. I should have pansies in here. Yeah. Okay. So for me, I'm a little early, but that's fine. I'm like a week ahead. It's fine. But these are the dates that are recommended for your area right here. And then, so any of your plants that you're going through and going to plant, I mean, you can click into any of these right here and pull them up, and it'll give you dates based on your location and where you are. Calendula is another one that I'm going to be doing today too. I'm going to be getting an early start on my flowers. I'm excited about that. But yeah, so check there, and that will be when you plant your pansies or whatever it is too. Yes, I actually am with you here, because I feel like flowers are can be at least more challenging than some of the veggies and herbs and things like that. And the Biodome just makes it so much easier. Oh, yay, Charlotte. I love it. You have your Biodome with you too. I love it. You have to let me know what you're planting too as we're going through. Oh, yes. So you are not alone. I gave up on a lot of my plants, gave in to the weeds and the pests and all of that. I'm like, I'm going to start fresh now. And especially since it's a new season, I can start with new plants. So it's things that I haven't had in a while. I haven't had fresh broccoli or cabbage or lettuce greens or anything like that recently. So definitely, like, yes, think about the things that you can grow that are new. It's exciting. Okay. Sorry, I'm scrolling through here. Okay, this is a great question. There are 3 different sizes that you can do. I don't have an 18 cell, but I'm planting a 40 cell one. So it's the same size of this. Like everything's the same size except the circles here for the sponges are a little bit different sizes. So right here, this is a 40 cell one that I'm going to be starting, and I'm going to be doing this one for things like the broccoli and cabbage, cauliflower. I'm using this size for that today. And then for these over here, this is the 60 cell. So the benefits of these is, well, definitely space. I get to start a whole lot more. But I can grow a lot of things, like maybe things that don't grow quite as fast, or if I'm going to have a faster like turnaround, if I'm going to be starting them or taking them outside quickly, I'm going to be starting them over here. So for the 60 cell, I actually have 260 cell. If I have time while we're together, I have 2 of these actually that I'm going to be starting out today. And one of them I wanted to do with all flowers. And the other one I was actually just going to do like pretty much a solid thing of lettuce. And so lettuce is one that I really like to direct seed outdoors, but I do like to start some indoors just because I have a green stalk tower. I don't know if y'all have seen these before. Let me see if I can find a picture real quick yeah, right here. So this is one of the green stalk towers that we have, and I really like using these for like greens and lettuce and things like that, where it's so much easier to transplant into there. So, and it's perfect because one of these just fits perfectly into those little pockets. So I just take those out, pop them in, perfect. So I'm going to do that and yeah, get that. No, no. That's why. So in the very beginning, whenever I am going through and planting out and starting my seeds with the lid on, I don't have to worry about, like, I just put water on the bottom and then I forget about it, like I said. But once the seeds have sprouted and like once every single one of them is sprouted, I'm taking the dome off of it. So that way it can be closer to the light, first of all, because I do want them to be like a few inches away from the grow lights here. So that way they don't get leggy or anything like that. And also just, I forget what I was going to say, but yes, sorry, yeah, brain fog right there. But anyways, yes. So I take the dome off once they've all germinated and just make sure that they're right underneath the grow lights. So it is a possibility to get fungus gnats after that. So typically if you're watering just fine and not over watering, you don't have to worry about it unless you just already have an active problem. That's exciting. Yay, first year growing flowers. Yeah, that's what I did too. The first time that I did flowers, I was like, I'm putting them in the biodome because I need to be successful. I need to do it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. You guys keep popping in questions and all of that too. But I do want to show you how I'm going to be keeping track of these today too. So in here, I am going to my garden tab and I am going to create a new garden. And this one is going to be my 40 cell biodome. So whenever I click into it, I can select whatever I want. So for this bed type, I'm actually going to do the Parkseed Biodome. So now I love this. It makes it look just like the biodome here. It's exciting. And I can say how many cell size. So this one is a 40 cell. So then it puts the appropriate amount of sponges right there for me. And then start planting. So now I go through, and it's easy for me to keep track of it too because I have the name right here and I always keep them like the same way. I'm like, okay, so the Parkseed logo I always have right here. So then I start at the top right here. I'm like, Okay, I'm going to do an entire row here, here, right there. But if I wanted to do like more of something, I can easily, like, this has made seed starting and tracking my plants and everything just insanely way easier. Because before we had this, I was having to go through and write out markers every single one that I planted out. And then I was worried about, like, the grow lights were casting shade on some of the seedlings too, because of these markers that I had in there to keep track of what plants were where. And I was like, oh my gosh. But yes, this has just made my life so much easier. I can go in, like, it just makes it so easy. I know exactly what I'm planting where. So here I'm going to add in, let's see what the first one I have. First one that I have is my favorite from last spring. This is the Purple Magic broccoli. There we go. And I'm going to go through there. I'm going to do 5 of them. I love it. And I am doing more than one variety of broccoli, and I want to make it easier to tell at a glance. So if I select these and I hit more, I can actually change the background color too. And I'm going to change it to a purple. Yay. And then once I can actually change the plant icon too, to be anything I want to too. So I can add a new photo, but once it starts to grow, I might opt to do that. So that way I can have a pretty picture of my actual Purple Magic broccoli seeds, which are beautiful, by the way. If you haven't grown them before, you definitely need to check them out. They are gorgeous. I love them. And two, I feel like the pests just really tended to leave these ones alone, whereas the broccoli next to it was just eaten. Like the same with cabbage too. I'll show you guys the best cabbage that I had too, but it was just like it went so great with having like the different colors and different varieties and all of that. Okay, I'm just going through and dropping one seed, as long as I don't drop extra. One seed in each hole here. There we go. And that was it. I mean, that's really all that is to it, which is great. Let's see. Drop that in. Let me pop up, see if you all have any questions here real quick. Yeah, that's a good idea to do that. Yeah. But with my luck, I probably would have lost that paper or something. I would have had to do that probably on my phone still too, but then it wouldn't all be in one place. So I'm very bad about misplacing things or losing things, and that's how I was with the markers too, the plant markers. And every time I had the kids out in the garden, they would always pick up all of the markers and then they'd bring them to me. So helpful, right? And I was like, oh no. I was like, where was this? So it was just, yeah. Let's see. I love it. Julia says, I think this will be all purple varieties. I do have a couple of regular ones, but yes, I do. Just so I will say, they just always tend to do a lot better for me in the long run. And I enjoy eating them so much more because they're unique varieties you can't find at the grocery store. The kids think it's super cool. It makes it more fun. And yeah, I like doing fun things like that. Let's see. I did see a great question too that we can chat about real quick. So, what are the best flowers to grow during the winter? So, I am going to be doing flowers here soon, as long as I have time. I don't know. I tend to talk too much and then I get over ambitious of the things that I'm going to be planting out with you all. But I do have some seeds right here of some flowers that I'm going to be planting. And so this is including things like pansy. I have some viola, some calendula, snapdragons, hollyhocks, and foxglove. Those are the ones that I'm doing. But yeah, these are some really great options for seed starting indoors for your fall, and they tend to handle the temperatures really great. Here in zone 7 at least, like, and most of these are actually pretty hardy too, and will do pretty good for you. Let's see. How do I keep the app from duplicating plants? I always have to add to each garden in order to add to the grid, but it always duplicates. I'm not sure what you mean, but reach out to me. We'll try to figure out, because I'm not sure where you're talking about. Um, but yeah, this, I don't know. I'm very sorry. Reach out to me. Here, let me pop my email up. Reach out to me here, and send me an email, and we'll chat about where you're seeing this and what's going on, and try to see what's going on there. Okay, so I do have a couple other varieties of broccoli that I'm doing here real quick that I'll pop in. So the next one I'm doing is a sky tree. I try to stay with these. This one right here is one of the newer, it's an AAS award winner, which, if you haven't heard of those, like, they just do these award winners. They try out so many different plants and varieties of things for different conditions and see how well it performs and all of that. And I do like to stick with a lot of those just because I feel like they do tend to do better for me. And Purple Magic was actually one of those too that I was like, yes, I will do it. So all three of these broccolis actually that I'm going to be planting out are these award winners too. So definitely ones that I would recommend for you guys. Okay. Yes. So, you know what? I actually just put it in order, this weekend, and I was very upset because I realized after the fact that I did not have Aspabrock in stock with me. And this is one, so don't tell Dale, because that is his absolute favorite variety to grow. And I was like, oh no, I didn't do that. But hopefully all these other ones will make up for it. But yes, Aspabrock is an amazing variety. It's amazing because, so there's different types of broccolis. You can have ones where they just form the one head of broccoli and then you harvest that and you're done. There's some that are what's called like a hybrid, where it gives you the one big giant head of broccoli. You can harvest that, and then it'll continue to give you a bunch of side shoots of broccoli that you can continue to harvest until the plant dies off. Um, and then there's also like Aspabrock, which is more like a sprouting broccoli, which just has like the side shoots of broccoli, which it is really great because if you live in a place where the weather is unpredictable, especially here, like Oklahoma, where we can just randomly get hailstorms and they'll damage our broccoli, or pests or things like that. But luckily in the fall, we don't get a lot of pest pressure. That is an amazing benefit of growing in the fall. But yeah, especially if any of those conditions apply to you, sprouting broccoli is something that's amazing because you can just continue to harvest it and you don't have to worry about it. Yes. Yes, I know. I know. I just knew that I wasn't going to get, because I actually discovered that today as I was getting all of the seeds out and ready to go right beforehand. And I was like, oh, I don't have that one. But yes, because I am a premium user, woo, I get free shipping. So yes. Woohoo. Okay. Great question. So, what are we looking for in fall temperatures before stuff goes outdoors for brassicas? So, typically for me, I'm mainly wanting it to be like out of like the 80s. So, pretty much once it starts dipping into the 70s and stays in the 70s consistently, then I'm like, I can probably start to get it outside. But ideally, like, it does really like the cold weather, and it really does well. So yeah, pretty much, and as cool as you can get it before you plant it outside, but still with getting a good harvest in before it gets too cold, because it will survive some frost, but not like it'll do. I think it's like a mild frost it can tolerate, but not like a moderate or anything like that. But I do actually have some funny pictures of broccoli growing in snow, which is awesome. But it's worked for me before, but doesn't always work that way. But yes. Okay. So next I have the green magic, which is, of course, like just as good as the purple magic, except it's not purple. I know. But I'm going to get the next row planted out here with the green magic. There we go. I need to go in and log that real quick. Oops, not typing right. And I will say, if you guys haven't checked out done your seed starting this way, it makes it so much easier. And everybody has access to the app on their computer as well. So you can do it on a computer, you can do it on your iPad or anything like that. But you can access it at, here, I'll pop it up, at app.seedtospoon.net. And you just can log into your account there. If you're a premium user, all of your premium information will come over with it too. And all of your information syncs in between both the app as well as the desktop version. So if I were to pull up my phone right now, it would show this partially planted biodome in there too. So it's amazing how it all works together. Okay, great question. So, Carol was saying, I love broccoli, but don't have enough room to grow that many. Can broccoli grow in a smart pot? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, here, let me show you really quick. If you go into any of these, hey, look, it's a trending plant. Right, that makes it easy. I can just click into it right here. I can go down here, and it'll show the recommended smart pot size actually for you. Recommended a 10-gallon. But I mean, honestly, you could probably even go smaller than that, especially with one of the smaller varieties. A 10-gallon like, it'll do terrific in a 10-gallon smart pot, and it'll have plenty of space to grow and thrive. Yeah, so absolutely. In fact, like, that's the majority of where we plant ours is a lot of smart pots. I have a bunch of different smart pots lined up, as well as some wooden raised beds and things like that. But I go through and do a lot of it. Nope, no, not at all. So if you're like me and realize that you forgot one seed packet, you don't have to pay shipping or anything like that. You can just pop one seed packet in to an order and place it. So if you're a yearly subscriber, you get free shipping on all your orders, how big or small they are. So no worries at all. Oh, yes, and a good call out here, plus the 15% off too. Don't forget about that, because we have our own discount code. I thought I had it saved up here. Oh, there it is. Yes. So right here, we have our own discount code that you can use through the app. You just type this in and you can get the 15% off your entire order. So don't forget about that. I like that. Not that I can buy just one. I know. I'm exactly the same way. I'm like, I know I forgot something else. I'm gonna think of something else that I forgot, and then come up with a million other things that I want to. Sorry. Going through and making sure. Okay. Okay. Oh, next one. Here we go. I got Cabbage Red Express. And this one is one of my favorites again. That is what I'm doing though today. I'm planting all of my favorites. That's how I treat my fall pretty much is I plant all of my favorite varieties and everything that performed really well for me in the past. And it just makes me really excited to get out in the garden over the fall whenever I'm exhausted from the summer. But I am doing the Red Express cabbage. So this one is definitely one of my favorites because it is one of the smaller, more compact varieties. Whereas the larger ones take a lot of time to grow and mature. These ones are going to be a lot faster as well. So I do like to grow these, especially in the fall, because I'm not sure when I'm going to have my frost dates. Like sometimes it gets colder a lot faster, sometimes it doesn't. So um, another one of my favorites are actually the megaton, which is the larger ones that I absolutely love. But I grow those usually in the springtime because they can continue to go through, and I don't have to worry about pests as much with them because if they do get attacked with pests, I can just peel off all the outer layers. And it's still huge, which is terrific. So I like growing a bunch of different types of cabbage, but in the fall, especially, my favorite one is this Red Express because it's one of the more compact and smaller ones. Plus, it is beautiful, and the pests seem to just leave it alone, which is amazing. Okay, got that one planted out. Go through. Make sure I don't forget to put that in there. Nice. I see that a lot of people are planting Red Express too. Yeah, so yes, we do have a bug, unfortunately, but this actually should be fixing because they're actually working on updating the website. So I'm hoping that this will be fixed whenever they do that. Coming up here soon, it's going to be like within a week or two. So fingers crossed that this issue will be fixed here soon. But in the meantime, just make sure you have your email that's in there, and it'll send you an email confirmation too, and that way you can track it on that. Okay. Okay. I'm super excited about this next one. So this is actually a new variety of kohlrabi. So this one, check this out. Let's see if I can show you guys a picture of it here. See if I can find it. Constance. Okay. Do you see this picture? I clicked away from it here. So right here. So if you guys have ever seen kohlrabi before, kohlrabi is one of my favorite brassicas to grow just because it's so unique and weird looking and fun to grow. And it just always does really well and it grows really fast too. And yeah, lots of reasons. Lots of reasons. But I saw this new variety, of course, and I had to try it because it's like a purplish red. And I'm like, no way. I was so excited. So I can't wait to try these. I'm going to report back and let you all know how it goes. But I know that this is going to be amazing. So I will let you all know how it goes. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I love kohlrabi because it goes super fast. It's one that I actually tend to grow a lot of in like rounds. So especially for like this, I'm going to seed start like some indoors, and then I'm probably going to be starting some outdoors too. So that way I'm not harvesting all of them at once, because whenever I do harvest these, I harvest the entire plant. Because you can, like, whenever that little ball right down there on the bottom is about the size of like a tennis ball or so, is when you'll harvest it, and you'll just go ahead and harvest that entire plant, and the entire thing is edible. It's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Julia says, I've never tried kohlrabi, not sure what to think of it. You need to try it. Trust me, you have to try it. It's so much fun to grow. And it tastes so yeah, so Danny hasn't tried it either. It's honestly like a mixture between it tastes very broccoli-ish to me. Like mainly the ball right there, it's more like the base of the broccoli. And then the leaves taste very similar to broccoli leaves. I mean, it is very similar to broccoli in my opinion. It's kind of a mild broccoli flavor, I'd say. And we typically just take it inside. We chop it all up. We can either stir fry it, or we've made fritters with it before. I've eaten it just like broccoli before too, where I just chop it up and I pop it into like the air fryer, put some cheese on top. The kids will devour it. I mean, pretty much any way that I eat broccoli, I'll eat kohlrabi too. So yeah, definitely a favorite of ours. Let's see. Oh, cool. Awesome. Julie just planted this variety too and just got it to germinate. Ah, that's exciting. I can't wait. Yes. Yes, I love it. That's amazing that it still did great. Yes. Well, good. Good. I'm glad that you tried it. Yes, that's a good description, Julie. I like it. Very mild cabbage broccoli. Yep. Yep. Great description. Okay, next, of course, had to go again with another purple variety. So I wanted to do at least one cauliflower, even though it does take a little bit longer. And in the fall, it's always a gamble for me, but I always try to do what I can and hopefully get at least one of these. And so this one is a de purple cauliflower, which is my favorite one to grow, obviously because of the color. But I do find that, especially with, I know I say this about everyone, but with cauliflower, pretty much anything that you grow of cauliflower besides white is easy. I feel like the white varieties are always going to be more challenging just because they never, like, the sun always tends to affect the color and then they just look weird. But if there are ones that are actually supposed to be like the yellow or the purples or things like that, and they they tend to do a lot better. And especially with cauliflower, it's one that I've struggled with quite a bit. Okay, let's see. I need to see where I am at here. Okay, third one over. That's where I thought, but I had to double check. See, the app's keeping me organized. See, I would get too distracted and I would probably double plant if I didn't have the app keeping me on my toes here. Okay. So deep purple. And look how pretty that looks, right? It's gorgeous. Okay. And then I have some other fun ones that I'm going through. So I grew this one for the first time actually this spring, and I really liked it. I thought it was gorgeous too. I just, again, I like growing unique things that I don't always see at the grocery store. So this is radicchio, and this was kind of like it tastes very similar to like a variety of like head lettuce. So it was a very unique thing, and it was very beautiful, and it did really well with pest pressure too in the spring. So I'm hoping that it does well in the fall. I've never grown it in the fall because this last spring was the first time. So like I said, I'm going to give it a try too. These seeds are a lot smaller, so they're harder to make sure I only get one in. I might have to come in and thin some of these down. There we go. Okay. Vivaldi radicchio. See, that's kind of what it looks like right here. It was very unique. It was beautiful. Let's see. Sorry, I'm checking to make sure y'all don't have any other questions here real quick. Okay. And then the last one that I have here, that I'm going to be trying is artichoke. So I've never had luck with artichokes before. So if you all have tips out there for me, I would love to hear it. But you know what? I was like, I'm gonna throw it in here and I'm gonna give it a try too. So fingers crossed for me, right? Yay, that's exciting. I'm so glad that you guys are getting out there and getting your fall gardens started too. Oh, sorry, I'm laughing looking at all of your guys' comments too. I feel you, Lisa. I am the exact same way, but every time I see a new variety, I'm like, oh, I need to get that one. I need to try this one. I need to try this one. I get too excited, and I just always have like an ongoing list of things that I want to try next, and then I run out of space too, and then I can't keep up with them, and then it's just yeah. Okay, there we go. I feel you, Robin. I feel you. I'm sorry. Oh, yay. Let's see. Man. Okay. So hopefully we can work on artichokes this year. Oh, and I need to put them in the app here real quick before I forget. Let's see. This one was the purple imperial artichoke. Well, maybe I have it under a different name. Well, let's see. It's probably this one if I had to guess. The Imperial Star. Yep. Okay. Ah, there we go. Yay. So there we go. So now I have all of these logged right here in the app. And I can actually go through too. I can click on these and I can tap into here and see when the estimated seed sprouting dates will be and when the projected first harvest will be, and all of that. So that'll be super helpful for me to go through. Like I can click on here. I'm like, okay, let's see. Estimated seed sprouting, projected first harvest, which is amazing. So I love having all of that information right there. Super handy. So okay, so now I have the lid on here. I am going to make sure that I have all of these vents closed for right now, just while I'm germinating these seeds. So that way it can retain all of the moisture here. There we go. Woo. Good to go. Okay, I'm going to pop this over here. There we go. I know you can't really see. There we go. I said it right there. Okay. I did see questions. Okay, so Jackie was saying, help, my tomatoes are so big that they tipped over. Oh no. What's the best way to keep them upright? So if you have, let's see. Here, let me pull up a picture real quick. This is how I grow most every single one of my tomatoes, unless they are a bush tomato. But with the bush tomatoes, I have, let's see. Here's one of my trellises. So this is just a cattle panel put on its side with some T-posts supporting it. And then I grow, like, this is a picture of peas growing up it, but you get what I'm talking about. This is one I had an entire vining tomato taking over this entire back wall in the summer of this picture. And then also I have these right here. These are the cow panel arch trellises, and I grow a lot of my tomatoes over these as well. And this is very similar again. It's just a shorter T or U post that I have into the ground, and then the cattle panel pushed up to its side and then just arched over. And then it can just grow and take over like that entire cattle panel, which is amazing. If it is a bush, if you haven't checked these out, let's see if I can. Yeah, so Parkseed has these. I know it's a cartoon picture. It doesn't really show it in action. I have pictures of it, but I don't think I have great. I don't think I have them like right here ready to go. But I have lots of pictures of them and how great they are. I really am a huge fan of their square supports because they just work so much better. Like before with the round ones that we would get at the big box stores, like they would always collapse on us. And then during the off season, we're like, I don't know what to do with them. And then they would break. But these ones just store flat. And then whenever you're ready to use them, you just open them back up, put them back into the ground. They're a lot sturdier and they work really well. So definitely look into that if it's more of a bush tomato that you're having an issue with, because those will work great for you. Yes. Yes, Lisa. I'm right there. And I've never had success too. So I am, fingers crossed, trying to do it again this year. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. Yes. I mean, that's pretty much what I would probably do. I've never eaten artichokes before from a garden because I've never grown them. So I don't know. I'll try it, but whew. Okay, Tara was asking which brassicas work best in planters or pots. I can't garden in the ground. And is there a good pest deterrent to use? Too many white butterflies. I feel you. I feel you. So the best thing, I mean, really any of these things that I planted today will be amazing. Um, in like a smart pot or a raised bed or something like that, they all will thrive. I mean, pretty much the only thing that I don't plant in containers are things that get like really tall and large, just because their root system typically goes down. Not to say that you can't. I mean, I typically do not grow like sunflowers in pots, although I've done it before accidentally and they've done great. But I typically don't do that because they typically fall over. And then like things like corn and okra. But other than that, like to me, every brassica is fair game for a container. Um, and if you're worried about the white butterflies, like that is the great thing too about fall is you don't have nearly as many pests or things like that. So let's see. Let's ask Robot here real quick. What plants are best to repel cabbage moths? Okay, so Growbot suggests nasturtiums, thyme, dill, sage, mint, all of those. So those are some good suggestions too. But in the fall, you're not going to have nearly the trouble that you have in the spring. Like that's one of the beautiful things about growing in the fall. And I will say too that I have. Let me pull up a picture right here that I do a lot of growing with these on over this is mainly for like the winter for extending my growing season, but in the springtime I do switch this plastic sheeting over to insect netting to make it so I can grow all sorts of brassicas and all that underneath without having to worry about the cabbage moths and things like that. So maybe even just looking on some sort of covering like insect netting and all that too would help. Okay. Oh, great question here from Danny. Thank you. So once you go to transplant the seedlings, how do you move them to the new bed? Okay, so right here, it's super easy to do, and I'll just go ahead and show you guys exactly how I do it. So right now I have each one of these as the same one. So first thing I need to do is to split the plant into multiple. And if I want it to, so like before this, I probably would have been marking they sprouted and if I watered or fertilized, things like that. So usually I will say yes, copy to all, because I do want all of that information to go with them. So now if I tap on one, it'll just pull up that one and I can go over here to more and I can move plant to another garden. So then right here I can pull up one of these that don't really have anything. So this is my arch bed right here. I can go in here, and then now I can just tap wherever I planted it. I can see I planted it right there, and then confirm. And there it is. Now it is over here. So I've transplanted it over here. So now if I come back to my 40 cell biodome, I will see the missing spot because I had just transplanted it. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any other questions, let me know. Oh, yeah, so it's not 100% necessary. I do it just to retain some of the moisture in whenever those seeds are germinating. And then once they do start germinating, I will actually go through and open up the vents to start letting in some more air circulation, things like that. And then once they all go ahead and sprout and germinate, I take the lid off completely. But yes, I do generally keep it on just because it retains moisture a lot better. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to go through. Hey, this is an interesting. I like this. Evelyn says that she uses those square tomato cages from parks and then uses them for brassicas as well too to put insect netting over top. That is brilliant. I have not done that too, but now I'm like, why am I not doing that? I mean, I guess because I have covers already on a lot of my beds, but still, like, that's a terrific idea, Evelyn. I love that idea. Thank you for sharing. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, you'll have to let me know if I am successful. Share your ideas for how to eat them because that will be exciting. Yes, good call out, Jackie, with the mint and and dill. I get lots of volunteer dill, but it. I'm gonna make a pun, but it's not a big dill because I love dill. Yeah, sorry, I crack myself up sometimes here. Um, yes, I do love dill, but yes, it will definitely take over. It's kind of the same as like cilantro, I feel like too. Once you have cilantro somewhere, if you don't pull it, it's going to go to seed and it's going to take like it's going to continue to come back over and over and over. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going through. Um, yes, Jackie, I love this idea. So right now, the app sends notifications on Sundays about like what plants you can plant that week. But yes, we definitely do need more like watering and fertilizing, like things like that. It is definitely on the list. I love it. Okay. Real good question here. So, what do you fill your beds with? Is it native soil or what? So, the beds that I have here, I'll show you. I have a combination of, I'm trying to find a better picture here showing my garden. I need to get better pictures loaded in here. Well, I mean, I have this. So, this is of one of the side here with a bunch of smart pots as well. And then this one, I know I showed you this one already too, but um, this is an older picture over the winter time, so you can't really see the beds themselves. But those are just like 4x8 wooden raised beds. And what we did here, we actually did use some native soil, but not right there. I pulled some in the area where we had our goats and where they had been fertilizing, where they slept. But for the most part, we typically make our own soil, especially if it's going into smart pots. It's a mixture of, actually, I think I have it pulled up. Yep. So it's a mixture of vermiculite, compost, and coconut coir. Um, those three ingredients. This is also called Mel's Mix. So if you've ever heard of Mel's Mix, it's from Square Foot Gardening. It is an amazing mixture. It works so well. And it's definitely worth it to have really good high quality soil whenever you're starting out because it is really is the basis of everything. Your plants just aren't going to do as well if you don't have good soil. So making sure that you have a good amount of like a good mixture of everything too. And the compost is super important too. So don't skip, especially on the compost, because it's definitely important. Um, but yeah, I pretty much just take equal mixtures of all of that. And we made a whole bunch of soil. We're just like dumping like bucket, and then like mixing that all up and then bucket. Yeah, you get the idea. But yes, Mel's Mix works terrific for all sorts of growing. It works really good for containers too and all of that. Okay, so I knew I would try to run over here. Let me go through here and draw the winner, because we do have a winner today for a free 1-year premium Seed to Spoon app subscription. Super exciting, right? Um, let's see. Um, Usually I have help or I have somebody else with me. It's just me today, so sorry. Bear with me while I go through and do this. And if you guys have any other questions, I'll stick around for a little bit longer as well too. So I do have more planting that I need to do, but I'll do that here later. Let's see. Okay. Congratulations to Lisa G. So send us an email at info@seedtospoon.net and I will get you all hooked up. So the free premium subscription comes with unlimited beds that you can do in the Seed to Spoon app. If you're on the free version, you get to do one garden. With the premium, you get to do unlimited. So I use this all the time, like I did today. Every single one of my biodomes that I start, I have as my own, its own bed. Makes tracking my seed starting so simple. It's amazing. And you get unlimited questions to Growbot, as well as you can send pictures to Growbot too for like pest identification or plant identification. And then free shipping on all of your orders too, no minimum. And so you can get some new varieties or anything like that. So congratulations. Send me an email in. And like I said, if you guys have any other questions, please feel free, please comment away. And also too, like I said, I'm here every Tuesday, same time, same place, every week, having fun with you guys. And then also I'm always on like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I mean, really all of those. So feel free to message me any of those places, because I'm always on, I feel like. So I'm always gardening and I'm always doing something that I want to share with you guys. So it's just fun. Anyways, I'm going to start some more seeds and yeah, I'm going to get going. But it was super fun hanging out with you guys. If you guys do have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments after the fact or reach out to me. And I will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.